Just keeps falling.
I thought I nailed it.
Why? It's not falling, it's shrinking because the grass is not changing size.
Mm-hmm. It's shrinking.
It's definitely shrinking.
All right. Let me pull this up on my phone so that we have at least one viewer.
Oh, yeah.
And also, it allows me to check the audio to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Oh, shit. Zelda's
after that
Lord of the Rings again.
What's happening to Lord of the Rings?
Zelfie's streaming Lord of the Rings something or other again tonight. She's been doing that.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man. There's rings.
Are we live?
She could be the
Are
Lord.
we for true?
We're for true.
We're for true?
We're for true.
Really?
Yeah.
Can they hear us?
Oh, my God. Hey.
Yeah, they should be able to.
Everything?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Hear this.
Oh, my God. Did they even see that? I don't even think the table's up on the screen yet.
It's not.
Damn it.
All right, we'll give you one last chance. We're not ready. You made us go live, and you're not even ready.
I mean, time counted down.
I was born ready to flip a table.
All right.
should be on the
Well, he
screen.
figures that out.
flip
Welcome,
the
everybody, to
It
Torchlight
should be on
Tavern.
the screen.
Torchlight Tavern, no dice. Just ignore them. They're doing important.
It's building by
No.
Torchlight. Torchlight.
Yeah,
It's not no dice
yeah,
anymore.
building by Torchlight. Yeah, that's it. Well, we are Torchlight Tavern. Welcome back to Torchlight Tavern, building by Torchlight. That's the show. We're not doing no dice. That's what you're saying, because normally it's no dice.
Normally it would be no dice. It used to be no dice.
I think
these days it's not anymore.
There are definitely some dice in the things we're doing, so we can't say that.
By law we can't call it that anymore.
Yeah.
So
we're doing. Well, apparently we're drawing hello on the map.
it's better than the butt that I thought he was gonna draw.
We're continuing the very strange dream, the goal, the epic quest, the colossal undertaking of making an eternal Walmart, dubbed Mediocre Mart, by playing all these various map making RPG world building games. We're just like running through them.
Hell yeah, we are.
You want to take somebody want to tell me what we're doing again? What I'm
Yes.
here, but I will
right.
not pretend that I understand.
Absolutely. Let me give you all the breakdown real quick. So, not too long ago on a No Dice, we covered games you use to help build your world. And we thought, and I had this idea that I've been working with where I was like, one day I'm going to play all of these games for one world. And I thought it was going to be my world, but hilariously, out of nowhere, Henry, the guy who's never run a game, never built a world, said, I've got an idea. That brings us here to Building by Torchlight, where we're going to play games to make a world to play a game in. And once it's built, Henry's going to run it. So this is the crazy brainchild of Henry himself, where we're going to go out there and we're going to build an endless Walmart, a mediocre mart. We've already played 3 games. We played
convenience store. What do they call these?
Department. They call them department stores.
Yeah, department store.
We've played. Henry's a little in and out. We played Our Pantheon, which was really good.
Yeah, very fun.
We played Beak, Feather, and Bone, which was
sounded better on paper.
A little bit of a letdown. It's good.
Game.
It does what it's supposed to do, but it's not much of a good game.
Good tool, bad game.
Yes. Good tool, bad game. Our Pantheon, good game and good tool.
At least, yeah. Definitely. I think that we could have kept playing that one, which I think is all you really need to know about that particular one.
Absolutely. And now we're on to the next stage, as the title says, with A Quiet Year. A Quiet Year is a pretty well-known world-building game. If you follow the McElroys, or honestly, it's come up in a lot of other places too.
Yeah,
But
it's kind of the like leading one of these, I feel like, in the sort of zeitgeist right now. Yeah.
Easily one of the more well-known. And one of the ones that our good friend Jay has been waiting to play.
Really want to try it ourselves, you know?
So
Really
tonight's the night.
Hey.
So normally I'm Jeff, your Torchlight Twitch Master, your Twitchlet Torch Master, but for this I'm just another builder. Or maybe I'm the all-seeing. But I'm not the important one. We're all equal parts. Joining me tonight with the one whose brain birthed this weird world is
Spawned.
Henry. Say hi,
Sorry.
Henry.
First and foremost, sorry for all of this. But I'm Henry. I used to stream under the name Mediocre Mets. That's why you'll see that as my handle wherever it is, whenever it shows up. I've been playing tabletop games on and off for probably 2 years now. Not too long. Not too much about me. That is all. Now I'm going to shed you off onto the grandpappy, Father Time, the creator, the inventor, if you will, of D&D itself, Jay.
Cut your goddamn hair. Hi.
It feels weird. We're the same age.
Yeah, I'm ancient, the ancient lore master, the one who started it all, Jameson Oxford, who started Torchlight Tavern as a podcast, which was a mistake. Don't start a podcast. That being said, it's been a lot of fun, and it's an excuse for us to be creative with our RPGs. Don't start a podcast. Don't be like me.
Don't do it. It's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work.
I've been playing TTRPGs since I was 14 years old, which is over 20 years now. Yeah, just did the math and love that. Yeah, just hadn't done the math. Don't love it, but I don't regret it either. And that's largely been D&D, but I always branch out. I love trying new shit, and I love that we get to do that here on the Twitch stream. So that's always great. I am going to say this, that I only just now realized that we call it Mediocre Mart, probably because he is Mediocre Mets. And I'm ashamed to say that I just put that together after weeks of doing this with y'all.
Yes, it is Mediocre Mart, but it's because of his name. But I just
thought it was a funny name.
It's also a hilarious play on words, if you ask me. This endless place being called mediocre.
Yeah, irony.
Yeah,
irony.
Technically, it's just a misnomer. It's not irony, but that's not the point.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to Alanis Morissette. I get it. Should I jump into this? There you go. He finally got it on tape. All right. Well, while we put the table back together, should I jump us into the quiet year and explain the premise of this game?
All that work.
And then we'll have to decide where we're building.
Absolutely. Let's start by saying, as I said, this is the thing that Jay's been excited for. So Jay's going to really take the reins on this one. He's going to lead us through this game. This won't be something to build a whole world with. As it turns out, it's really not good for that. But it is good for building an area.
Yeah.
So first step
and
is we
community.
Pick an area.
Like specifically, This one builds a community more than even an area. It builds a map. It's a map drawing game, they say. But what I've seen from podcasts that I've listened to is that it's very good at building out a sort of area and a mythos around like a culture or a group. So it's a map drawing game. It's called A Quiet Year. It is by, what's the company? It's designed and written by Avery Alder. And it's done by Buried Without Ceremony. Just an epic little name for your company. It's a map drawing game where you play as a community rebuilding after the collapse of civilization. Your decisions will define the values and future of this community, and these decisions will get added to a map that is constantly evolving. This map blends literal cartography with symbols, creating a rich visual record of land and people. And we're going to collaborate to steer the fate of this community while also introducing problems and tensions along the way. One of the things about this TLDR, you are playing after a huge calamity, a community trying to rebuild. And because of that, I believe we chose to do the Ruse last time. We talked about doing the Rue community after the great bouncy house explosion, right? That's where we're going to pick up. Yes, Henry? Or are we distracted?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No,
that
sorry,
is what we
I
discussed.
was trying to. Yes.
Okay. So for people who haven't seen the other streams, what was it about the Ruse that we need to know? Oh, speaking of that, I'm gonna pull up the information that we have. Where's our docs?
You might want to pull up the notes document.
Yeah, sure will. Does anybody else remember why?
You don't have to. It's highly recommended.
It is highly recommended.
Highly recommended. I'm actually pulling up the big map right now so I can look at it.
What the?
Where'd it go? Where did it go? How was it shared to me? Somebody help. Tell me the truth. Don't lie to me.
Okay, I'll try. I'll try to tell you the truth and not lie to you.
Mediocre world. Okay. Well, I searched it and it somehow, it pretended to find it. It didn't find it.
But it pretended to.
It did.
I'm pretty sure I put it in our documents, our notes.
Okay, I'm in.
Okay,
I'm in.
You got it?
All right.
Okay, good.
So yes, what everyone needs to know is in the mediocre mark, there are many departments, and in one of the departments, we created. Does anybody remember the name of the department? Because no one has saved the map for me to reference.
Bouncy houses.
It's just bouncy houses. Yeah. So the bouncy houses department had a great catastrophe where the giant bouncy castle exploded, causing the clouds to fly away, and the people who lived there, who we decided would be the Ruse, who live in the bouncy houses. God, I'm saying all this out loud and realizing what I've spent weeks doing.
It's terrible, isn't it?
It's quite.
We've done terrible
amazing.
things.
So we don't have a lot about the Ruse, which is great. We get to flush it out. They're led by Queen Kanga until her tragic death in the big bouncy castle, earthquake explosion of 25 AE. Now led by Kanga's heir Joey of the Ruse, who's starting a real Renaissance. Those are the notes that I have. That is all of the notes that I have for the Ruse.
I love that.
Can we just take a moment for Queen Kanga?
Yeah. Moment of silence.
Just a moment.
Yeah.
In the arms of the angel.
Okay.
Beautiful. Okay. So the way Quiet Year works is there is another calamity coming for the Ruse. Another group is going to come and wipe them out. Yeah. So A Quiet Year is a very dark game at its basis.
And we chose the people already at a low point.
One quiet year with which to build our community. Well, it's part of the whole, that's how the game's played. You got to pick people who are already screwed. So one quiet year with which to build our community up and learn again how to work together. Come winter, this other group, which we might need to decide is coming to kind of run them out, will arrive, and we might not survive the encounter. This is when the game will end, but we don't know about that yet. What we know is that right now, at this moment, there's an opportunity to build something. All right. And then the tools we have is we have a blank page. It's going to be our map. We're going to establish some sort of landscape first. Whatever we want to put on the map. This is a no-brainer. It's got to go here. Like the wreckage of maybe the bouncy castle or something. We can put some stuff on the map immediately. We can just agree and draw it on there. And then after that, we're going to take turns adding more to it. So, I mean, we could start there. Is there anything y'all want to draw on the map? Like, just go for it for now. And remember to leave enough space. Don't make anything too huge, because we're gonna be building around it.
Okay, let me just do this real quick.
I feel like Henry should start us off with some of that, because I know a lot of the ruse and the bouncy castle was definitely his card pick and his brainchild.
Why? I'm trying to draw a square, but it's only giving me the color white, which is not the color I'm trying to select.
Strange.
You have to click apply, I believe, after you pick your color.
Quite strange.
And you have to click it out of the corner. Click out of the corner, because the corner is always white. Did you figure it out?
Nope, it's still giving me white.
Okay, hold on. Maybe I need to upgrade your... Let's promote you. Maybe that's a problem. Let's do you too, Jeff, while I'm at it. All right.
Woo! I'm getting promoted.
Oh, and we're trying out Tabletop Simulator, because that seems like a good way for us to kind of visualize everything together. Which also means we have no idea how Tabletop Simulator works, and bear with us.
We sure don't. We don't know.
All right, so while you figure out how to draw, so we've got the map. Establish some landscape. The map will blend literal cartography with symbols. We won't write words on it, though common symbols are fine. We all take turns drawing on this map. You don't have to worry about drawing well. Every drawing is good enough. Point to the turn summary card. This card explains how to play, works from week to week. Yeah, we don't have the physical game, so I will be reading that to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
We have dice, which are project dice, which determines how fast a project gets done. We have contempt tokens. They represent similar intentions in the community.
Okay.
Okay. And then we've got cards.
You can keep explaining them.
As long as you can hear me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So before the first week of play, we establish a general landscape for our map. This begins with a brief discussion, taking 2 minutes at the most, about the general terrain and habitat. This can be as simple as someone saying, how about a community in a rocky desert? And everyone else nodding in agreement. So where do we want it? What is the bouncy house terrain look like, even though I say that knowing the answer? Is it just rubber hills for miles?
I was going to say standard ground.
Is it just standard linoleum?
No.
What's the standard?
It's grass, because you always put a bouncy house on grass.
AstroTurf, because we are.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, it's all of it's AstroTurf.
It's AstroTurf. The whole area is AstroTurf, but every building is a bouncy house.
Okay. Some sort of rubber construction that should probably not withstand the sheer might of all these bouncing children. Did you guys deal out the cards? What happened? Why are the cards over here?
Why did it still go white?
Just gonna reset everything, because I have no idea what you guys have done.
Oh, so much stuff is happening. Quite loading. Well, who's hitting rewind all this much?
Me, because somehow you guys have made all of the decks just like dealt out to the side here, and I don't know why.
I didn't do that. It wasn't me. Tell you that goddamn much.
What are you doing?
Oh.
Stop it.
Why is my color not?
All right, sorry everybody. We're having technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Yeah, we're figuring it out piece by piece, guys. So, don't mind us while we sort things out.
What
Can't you just reset the entire table from the beginning?
I did, and it still didn't do it. For some reason, all of the cards are over here by Jeff, and they won't flip upside down.
I'm the card master.
Yeah, stop it.
I wish I could. Wish I could, but
Yeah, apparently. That's the problem I'm having. Yeah. Oh my god.
Don't set them on the table. Set them on the corner like that.
Oh, set them anywhere you can. Like, I dare you. Okay. Why are they here, though? Like, why are they not in the little decks that they were in a second ago?
good question. Next question.
Now make them in decks. There you go. See? You did it. I don't know how, but you
did it.
Yep. I'm doing something. Hold on. Now I don't know which deck is which, though, because it does matter.
How do I move around the space and not move the space around?
I don't know.
That would be WASD.
WASD does it? Oh, fucking
Yeah,
G.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
G shit. Just looking for that shit. Just looking for that freaking shit.
And then right click and spin is rotate.
Yeah.
And then arrow keys are rotate as well.
What the? Did you just reset us again?
Yes, I did. I'm trying to see why the game is all weirded out. Let me see if I can.
I have an idea.
Yeah? There you go.
Reset the table.
It did not do it.
Nope.
Didn't do a damn thing.
God dang it.
Oh, now I'm going too far.
Here, I'm
Here
going to
we
start
go.
completely over.
So all these
And I'm gonna do
fucking
this.
cards being off. Oh no,
There
my
we go.
cards.
I reloaded the whole fucking game. All right, so, like I was trying to say.
That's what I told you to do.
No. I mean, I had to, like, reload the whole thing from scratch.
From scratch.
I still can't color.
Why can't you color? I think you're doing it wrong. Click on draw. Click on the pen. Click on your color. Make sure the color is not in the top right corner or top left corner. Then click apply.
It's not. It's at the bottom where black is. And I'm clicking apply. And then I get nothing.
Really?
Hold on. How about this?
Well, this is going to be a failure. I don't think it's because you're not in the game.
Nope. I'll just go with orange instead of black. I'll just keep the color orange.
Huh.
Yeah, now it will work.
Promote you again.
I was trying to.
Because you might have lost promotion when you left earlier. All right. So getting into it,
That's all.
because we lost a bunch of time there.
Thank you for being patient, those of you who
Yes.
did. We are just doing our best.
All right.
Rookies.
So after everybody agrees, we each want to introduce one detail about the local terrain and then sketch it onto the map. These sketches should be rough and simple, leaving lots of blank space for additions. So going around the horn, we're going to add one thing to our map. What is that?
Yeah.
What are you drawing there, bud?
Initially,
Huge.
it's got to be the. That's our map.
The whole thing's the map.
The whole
Because remember,
thing
we're
is
working
the
in
map.
cubes, not rectangles.
No, they're rectangles, not cubes, you silly Billy.
No, I'm saying our actual map for Mediocre Mart.
Mhm.
It's a cube.
Yes.
You're
but
aware.
the
You're aware that.
departments are
You're aware that my
rectangles.
view of the cube is from the other angle, right? So it's a rectangle to me, or like as far as a cube goes. Also, you just drew a different rectangle.
We're really having a lot of the whole thing's the map. How about that?
The
That's
whole
pretty
thing's
simple.
the map. It's going to be way simpler to just do that.
The square is unnecessary to be the
Okay.
map. The whole thing's the map.
You also didn't draw a square. You drew a. Okay.
All right.
None of that matters.
Try this again. What do we agree on? There's an
We
exploded
agreed
Anyway,
Zapper
right out of the
Jerk.
gate, we already established
Keep things smaller.
that is the
swear,
castle.
keep things smaller. Okay.
Exploded
You gotta
castle.
leave room
it does
for
take
stuff.
up a huge chunk on the original
You don't
map.
want the castle
that's
that big?
fair.
Okay. That's fine. I'm just warning you that we need space to draw stuff.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. Takes up a big space on the original map too. So
Okay.
it's huge. on the
So
original map.
that's Henry's thing. He drew that. What do you want to add, Jeff? What feature would you like to add to the map?
So this is his version of exploded castle. Is a square here.
Yes.
Okay. I would like to add. Let's see.
I'm gonna draw a little towers, because I like my bouncy house to have little towers.
I mean, they all have little towers for sure.
Gotta help. Yeah.
But they're probably no longer intact
Oh
as
god,
the
you
whole
guys
thing
into
exploded.
freeform.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be garbage. I don't have time for this.
Why
We got a
not?
lot to get through. A
Why
game
not?
of fire is supposed
Do
to take 4 hours, and at
shapes.
this rate, we'll be done in 12.
Yeah, for real. I think that what I'm gonna put, it's something silly, but it makes sense to me. Is I'm gonna put a main road that goes through, and then it goes by the castle, even in the castle, and then like away. Which place do I think they have a main road to from the castle? Not lasers. So let me actually. Whoops. That's literally all draw lines. I didn't think I could do that. It seems crazy.
Yeah, don't hit the trash can because it's bad. We found that one out last time.
Okay, and then it goes through here, and then it goes into clouds, since they kind of fuck clouds up after. So there's my main road.
All right.
It's just a line.
I recall that the great bouncy house was destroyed by a great earthquake. So my thing that I'm going to add
You
is a
added
chasm.
towers. You can't add
little
again.
towers. What? How dare you? Tell me what I can or cannot add.
He's
what's
trying to
there
tell
that-
you, dude. He's
I did fuck with his art, and that's rude of me. And then this is like a chasm that opened up during the earthquake, because I think that would be cool.
Do you think maybe somebody rules
chasm?
in that chasm?
If you will.
I don't know yet.
What kind of ruler would that chasm have?
Ooh.
Would they have like a king or like a chief? Or do you think that chasm might have a czar?
A leader.
Czar of the chasm. All right. So now that we've all gone around, we've added a thing. Next, we each name an important. We each name important resources for the community. Something we might have in either abundance or scarcity. We don't have to draw anything, but some examples include clean drinking water, adequate shelter, fish. Choosing a resource makes it important if it wasn't already. If you pick gasoline, it becomes something our community wants and needs. So we're not picking
This is going to be
whether we're not picking if they're good, if we have a lot
a
or a
junk
little yet.
pile.
We're just picking thing. No, we're okay. Well, if we want to go around one more time, but we're gonna have plenty of time to add stuff to the map. So the next thing we got to do is just name some abundance, like some resources that we want to be like important. Whether there's a bunch of them or too little of them, doesn't matter.
Sure.
Yeah, I was just going to say this is like a garbage heap of rubber and whatnot.
So rubber's pretty
Yeah.
important.
Rubber is the resource.
Technically, they're never made of rubber. But, whatever. You know what you like?
Hey, man. I don't want to go into that. I'm not a scientist.
Whatever bouncy houses are made out of, okay?
I think vinyl.
Probably. Who cares?
Is vinyl not melted down rubber?
No.
I'm gonna assume that bouncy houses are made of the same things that Tiggers are made out of, and that's rubbers and springs. Okay, we're moving on.
Ooh, yes.
Well,
So
anyways.
rubber. What about you,
Sure.
Jeff? You got anything?
Yeah, 100%. I got something. These bouncy houses need outlets.
Outlets?
Mhm.
Energy or outlets?
Yeah, like
specifically?
power.
Ooh, a power.
Which one do you want it to be? Because it could be either.
I actually think it should be extension cords.
Extension. I like that.
I like that.
All right. No, not chords like the instrument. Chords like the extension cord. Okay. And I'm gonna say.
And you know what? Now canonically, the giant castle collapse was someone tripping over the castle's extension cord.
All right. I'm gonna throw in not
And then
just
being so
rubber.
afraid they were gonna get caught, they just left.
I'm gonna throw in not just rubber cement.
Gluing them down.
Yep, gotta glue that shit down. Gotta stick it all together. All right. So now that we have everyone name a resource. Now we choose one of these resources to be in abundance. Whoever named that resource draws its abundance on the map. So, which one do we want to be abundant?
I should not have.
Well, if we choose that one, leave it. Like, it might save us some time. Do we want rubber to be abundant?
I would say power source.
So you want it to be abundant? Like it could be more interesting. I'm just saying, like, we can do whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's more interesting if the rubber is abundant because I think that the roads would be paved in whatever the bouncy house material is, and we can fudge it and say it's rubber. And that seems hilarious.
You did already draw the pile of rubber. It makes sense that here in bouncy houses there is a surplus of rubber. Like that's not the thing we need.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can leave that up. We can leave that drawing, and then, after we do that, we draw it on the. Whoever named that resource draws its abundance on the map. The rest are in scarcity, and the remaining players figure out how to draw a lack of these resources on the map. Remember, common symbols are fine. We also keep track of our abundances and scarcities on an index card. Choose which resource is in abundance, add all the abundances and scarcities to the map, and index cards before proceeding. So we need to add some index cards. Can I copy this? We'll just copy this one.
So I wasn't able to bring up the Google Doc. What surrounds bouncy houses?
What surrounds it? Oh,
so
yeah.
Did
you ever pull the map?
Yeah, I got the map. I wasn't able to download it yet, but on one side is the Department of Clouds, which now has a cloud scar in it. Yeah, that's exactly where it is. On the opposite of that side is lasers. Above it is guns. And below it is bones.
So power is definitely coming from lasers.
Yeah, for sure.
Could be. So how are we going to draw a lack of... Oh, I love that we wrote them right on the side there.
Yeah. You know what I think is really funny? He hand wrote them after all that bullshit about like, why don't you use the tools? And there's a text tool.
He wants very rigid lines for our drawings and our shapes, but letters are just scribbles. It's fine. You know, that's how the rules break down for him.
That's actually very true. I don't give a fuck about lettering. I want our map to look good.
I've spent way less time with Henry, but I feel like I'm figuring him out pretty quick.
Figuring it out piece by piece.
All right, and so the last one was rubber cement.
I think that we can draw a scarcity. So this is my idea. We can draw a scarcity of extension cords by simply putting a mark on places that need it.
So Okay.
So like draw like okay, so it's like here they need an extension cord. Little X there. That's another. There we go. Or like here.
what if we do a what if we do a circle, and this is the standard like distance that the extension that a regular cord can reach, and everything outside that needs an extension cord.
We could do that. I would. Yeah, we could do that because I imagine in this section of
I would do it
mediocre
from the side of lasers, though.
Okay.
Well, that's I think that's maybe the question. Do we think the department has outlets but needs extension cords?
Yeah,
Or
so
has
he
no
specifically said that.
outlets?
Yeah, he specifically said extension cords when he made it in a scarcity, right? So it's not that we don't have outlets; it's that we don't have cords.
Right. So the cords.
I like that as our.
It's got to be a
area
scarcity.
of
That takes
power.
up more than half the place. I think it should
Yeah.
be smaller.
No, that's not enough. I also think that
Alternatively, we could do
from,
multiple areas where like each corner has an extension cord. Here,
I
erase
like
that
that.
one.
I like.
What if we do?
that.
What if we got like this, and this, and this, and this?
Well,
And-
then at that point, this has to at least touch the castle.
Right.
I mean,
Perfect.
back in the, I mean, all the extension cords might currently be used on the castle. It's fine. This is just what a normal cord can reach. With enough extension cords, you can get power anywhere.
It's true.
All right, this is too big. Get rid of this. All right, we're gonna draw one. We can even put an extra one from the side of lasers if you want. We'll go like that.
Well, I would do a chain, like you were saying, because we have to have it reach the castle. The castle can't have a scarcity because the castle had
The
power.
castle's
It's a-
destroyed.
They will not be without power at
The
castle.
castle's destroyed.
Castle's destroyed at this point. Maybe they took all
Yeah,
They
the
had
away.
power
we-
before.
Hey, we're going to discuss about how it gets
Before-
power again as we play the game. This is
Yeah.
the problems we're creating now. These are things that we can fix as we go. You're
Okay.
jumping the gun, Henry. We're gonna
Okay.
These are the problems that we're gonna fix.
Okay.
The group is playing an abandoned mine.
I fix problems, Jay.
I get it. That's fine, and I hope that you do. But we got to start with some to make it interesting. All right. So the last one that we need to do to put on the map is why is there a scarcity of rubber cement, and can we draw that?
Oof, that's a tough one to draw.
Is the rubber cement maybe a puddle, like it's a little pond?
I keep looking at the line Jeff drew, and I keep thinking that his corner is just ocean.
Well, we can fix it as we go. You can add to the detail of the drawing while
I'm
you're
not
waiting.
complaining. I'm just saying I keep looking at it.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna put a little tiny. This is just a little tiny rubber cement puddle. That's all it is. That's all we get. Can I fill? Can I fill? Is there a fill option? No. Okay.
There is no fill option. No,
Oh, well.
that is not an option.
Okay. So there's
Sorry,
that.
I was tuned out there a little bit. What are you
That's
using
fine.
to represent the rubber cement?
There's a Collins, though.
The little blue circle. It's a little rubber cement pond. That's all we get.
Why don't you? We should make it a different shape.
Why?
Okay,
You
whatever.
don't like circles?
No, it just feels like if everything's a circle, it's hard to differentiate.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna give it a little bit of little extra for you.
I like that he doesn't erase it. He just scribbles on top of it.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the energy you're gonna get from me. All right,
Hey,
I hate it.
all
I
right.
appreciate
We
it.
are ready to play the
I
game.
hate it.
We're officially there.
Let's do
All
this.
right. So the week. Each week in our year is a turn taken by one player, with play moving clockwise around the table. We'll figure out what that means.
Woo,
The other
you're
players
clockwise.
are quiet audience members. And I think this is going to be the hardest part for each of us. Shutting the fuck up. It's my turn. Don't make choices.
Don't worry. I have a
Easy.
mute button, and I
This-
can
this
use it
game
on
is-
everyone.
This game is called the quiet year. All right. That means shut the fuck up. All right. I mean, don't, because it would be really boring to watch us all sit here in silence, drawing doodles. Each week follows these 3 phases in order. You play a card. The active player plays a card, reads the relevant text aloud, and resolves it. Bold text indicates that the card has specific rules. You adjust the dice. The active player reduces each project die by 1, and any finished projects are updated. Take an action. The active player chooses and takes an action. You can either discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project. And that's how you start to resolve the issues that you're looking at already, Henry. It's like, this is how we're going to fix this. So first things first, we start by drawing a card. Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Yeah.
Okay.
What pile do I draw from?
We draw from... Until we run out of cards, we're supposed to play with... Hold on. It's supposed to tell me. There are 52 weeks. We don't necessarily get to play them all. Will arrive anytime during winter. Most cards have 2 options to choose from.
Do we just choose what time of year we start?
No. It's specific. It's spring. We start in spring, so it's the hearts.
Okay.
Okay. Draw a card. And how do I...
F will flip it if you're trying to flip the card.
So draw. There we go.
All right. And what'd you get?
What the?
Oh, cool. They actually wrote the stuff on the card. I think this was the problem that I was having with it, where it doesn't want to keep the cards flat. Zoom in.
No, it's fine. Predators and bad omens. Can you get your pencils out of here, fuckers? Predators and bad omens are afoot. You are careless and someone goes missing under ominous circumstances. Who? Or
yeah, you get a choice.
Predators and omens are afoot. What measures do you take to keep everyone safe and under surveillance? Do not reduce project dice this week. So how do I want to do this? I don't want to do someone goes missing. I want to do how we prevent, because I'm going to say the dogs from Bones are coming up north. And
yes, the dogmen
and
the necromancer.
The necromancing dogmen, yes. One of my prouder achievements.
Oh, fuck, yeah. Necromantic dogmen.
Yeah, we put the ruse in a shitty place.
I got it. So
not we, he did that.
Yeah, we did.
He did that.
So the dog men are coming north because they want this pile of rubber for chew toys.
Okay.
So what we're doing is we're setting up defensive measures here and here.
Okay.
You're in the process,
you're getting a little far in.
Relocating here.
You're getting a little far in. So don't hold on to that, because you got more to your action.
How?
No, it just says who. It just says who's coming and why.
It just says who. You're
like
riffing,
you don't even need to
answer
why. I like that you answered why, but you don't need to do that yet. So now we advance.
Dogmen are coming north.
Yeah, we advance the die. Which we don't have any yet. And now you take an action.
Do not advance any dice this week.
Yeah, so doesn't matter anyway. The active player chooses and takes an action. So you can either discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project.
Project dice.
So if you are discovering something new, one of the options. What's up?
No, keep going.
Okay, so your 3 options are discover something new, which is one of the 3 action types. I'm repeating myself. You can either
you got this.
Introduce a new situation. It might be a problem, an opportunity, or a bit of both. Draw that situation onto the map. Drawing should be small and simple, smaller than an inch, finished in under 30 seconds. Whenever things seem too controlled and easy, we can use this action to introduce new issues and dilemmas. You can hold a discussion, is a different action. And that's when you choose to open with a question or a statement. Starting from you and going clockwise, each player gets to weigh in once with a single statement of 1 to 2 sentences. If you open with a question, you get to weigh in last. And if you open with a statement, that's all for you. All you're doing is open up the floor to us. A discussion never results in a decision being made. Everyone weighs in, and then it's over. This is how conversations work in communities. They are untidy and inconclusive affairs. It's important to stick to 1 to 2 sentences. If any of us feel like we have more to say on a topic, we can always hold another discussion about it on another week. Start a project. The last of the 3 action types. You start a project, you choose a situation to declare that the community will do to resolve it. So this is kind of what you're talking about. You were already getting into this. I feel like this was probably the action you're going to take. Okay. There's no agreeing or disagreeing. The community simply begins work. You just say, hey, we're going to prepare for this dog invasion. And then as a group, we quickly decide how many weeks the project would take to complete, from 1 to 6. Remember, you are a small community. It did say that a community is about 60 to 80 people is the assumption. So we kind of just go, how many weeks do we think this would take to accomplish? It isn't easy or quick to build a house or repair a water wheel. If a project would reasonably take longer than 6 weeks to complete, it will need to be completed in stages. Place a project down on the map with a number showing how many weeks it will take to complete. So which action do you want to take?
I'll start a project.
Okay.
And I just laid it down.
Okay. What was the project again?
What I was stating before, that they're setting up these garrison towers or watch facilities, which are the little boxes.
Okay.
And they're in the process of moving the rubber down the dotted line behind the chasm. So they have this nice long defensive structure of the chasm. Okay. And it doubles because now they can keep watch in the chasm.
Okay, so they're building 2 watchtowers. How many weeks do we think that would take to do? 4, maybe 2 weeks per tower.
Yeah,
I can agree to that. I think
that's fair.
Okay, so maybe buy your dude, since we can just write on like the thing. Go ahead, grab a dice.
Potentially less, but.
Well, I mean, 3.
Grab a dice.
Like if you want to say less, we could go with 3.
I would go with 3.
This is kind of establishing
they're gonna have
like
some pep in their step because
they are ruse.
This is the beginning of an invasion, so they're like, hey, gotta get this happening.
Sure.
Go.
This is our first project. It's kind of establishing our baseline, right? If they can throw this up in 3 weeks, how fast can they move on other things? 3 weeks.
Okay,
then?
I have my dice.
Is that acceptable? Yeah. Put it by you, maybe, since it's your project, and then like write yourself a note, make yourself a note card if you need to, whatever you need to do, and write either put the dice on 3 or write a number by the dice. However you want to track it. And then maybe write a note.
See how professionally I just rolled that?
It was perfect. It was fucking fantastic. All right. So that is Henry's turn. Jeff, do you want to go?
Yes. Sorry.
First thing, play a card.
Yes. All right.
So you're
zoom in over here over the cards. Which one of these decks is the hearts? To me,
Spring.
Is there words?
So this is
when
a
you
new
hover over
week.
them, it says what they are.
Yeah. So
I gotta switch from the pin. Summer, spring.
That'll do.
Okay. Hold on. Stop. This is my card. Get your hands off of it. Get your dirty paws off my card. Oh, it's me spinning it. Isn't that fun?
Isn't it?
Isn't it just?
What's it say?
Hold on, motherfuckers.
I'm impatient. Everybody's watching.
I know. I'm trying to make it the most viewable I can. Can you stop flipping this shit? So can you stop fucking with my shit? I'm really trying to make this so that I can read it, and so can the fucking screen, you pieces of shit.
That's nice of you.
Holy
really
moly.
appreciate it.
All right.
A young boy starts digging in the ground and discovers something unexpected.
This is the quiet year, Henry.
You know what? I figured out how to fix this. There we go. All fixed. Isn't this nice, guys? Just fucking living this for a little bit. Anyways, a young boy starts digging in the ground and discovers something unexpected. What is it? Or an old man confesses to a past crime and atrocities. What has he done? Now, before I unmute these fucks and they just start blurting out all of the things on their minds, I think I'm going to go with an old man confesses to a past crime. And it doesn't tell me to specify the old man. So instead, I'm just going to specify what he's done. And he's the reason that the castle popped.
Hang him! All right. This is considered a new week, so Henry's dice will adjust.
He did. What?
Yeah. So the second part is adjusting dice. Your project will be one closer to completion, Henry. And then you get to choose your action, Jeff. Do you want to discover something new, hold a discussion?
How do I
or
make
start
it
a project?
closer to completion?
If you touch
Do I
it the
just
right way,
go
it gets
down
closer to
one number?
completion. I'll tell you that right now.
I do.
Do I just go down one number?
So I choose one action. What are the actions again?
It's discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project.
I want to hold a discussion. Tell me how.
Okay. So you can start a discussion by either opening with a statement, in which case you just sort of open the floor for us to talk about 1 to 2 sentences, our thoughts on the thing, or you open with a question and you get to close on the conversation.
Okay. Very simple.
Yeah, very simple. It usually nothing is resolved. It just opens up the idea to us and we see
I've
what
got
we
it
think.
already.
Part of the point of this game is that we're not supposed to have too much dialogue in between.
Yeah. Who's the old man?
Okay.
Look at that. Shut you guys up quick.
There's not a lot to go on yet.
I know. This is building. This is
It was
Yeah.
Smitty, Werben, Jaegerman, Jensen.
I don't think it was Smitty, Warber, Jaeger, and Man Jensen.
Yeah, I don't think that my statement is that I don't really know that I know enough or care enough about it's already happened. I don't care about whether or not he did it. Punish him if we not, but I don't think there's enough evidence to really commit Smarty, Werben, Ben Jensen. He's a valued member of the community. That would be wild. And you get to close us out, Jeff.
Yeah, of course. Smitty? You mean the chief advisor of the queen herself?
Smitty,
I think
Werben,
that
Ben
would be
Jensen.
scandalous.
What was
It
his
would
name?
be quite scandalous.
You're the one who said Smitty, Warber,
Yeah, write it down.
Jaegerman Jensen.
Make a card. Write it down.
Werben, Magerman, Jensen?
I should point out that since I'm reading rules, I'm absolutely not taking notes this time. Y'all should fucking get on that.
Hey guys, I just want you to
Ooh,
know he
there
was
he goes.
He was number one.
CPU overloaded.
crashed his shit. All right. My
I
turn.
think it's my fault, actually. Here, let me turn this down.
Yeah.
It says my CPU is overloaded. So. Turn shit down and see if that helps.
All right. You want me to rotate this for the listener? Drawing my card.
Okay, hold on. I got to bring up the notes now because you told me that you're not taking notes. So
I'm not
one of
taking
us should.
notes. Yeah, we're at the point where we probably should take some notes, and I can't do all that. All right, so we've got you see a good omen. What is it? Or you see a bad omen. What is it?
This one's on you, my guy.
I see a good omen, and it's just a cloud. Just a wisp of a cloud. It's barely any clouds.
Is it a cloud? Is it a cloud in the cloud scar caused by the explosion of the castle?
I don't know. It's a good omen, though. I think it's a good omen. Looks like a little cloud. We're not supposed to have any clouds. That's a good omen. That's a good sign. Things might be coming back.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right. Go ahead and move your dice one more. And then I'm going to take the action of... If we have... criminals in our midst, then we are going to need some way of dealing with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to build a bouncy house prison with its padded walls.
The big bouncy house.
We're going there needs to be law.
2 plays?
No, this is my play. I drew a card.
This is what the play is. He drew a card, then he gets to do his action.
My project is to build the bouncy house prison.
Okay.
It's going to be over here by the castle, kind of close, where we can keep a watch on everybody. And it's going to be where we keep ne'er-do-wells. I'm not saying that Wiggy Wig Johnson or whatever did it, but so I'm going to try to build this castle here.
Man Jensen did.
But if he is found guilty, we're going to need somewhere to put him. So I'm going to get... How many weeks do you think it takes to build my bouncy house prison?
2 tops.
2?
Tops.
2? I'm going to say 4. It's a whole prison.
The same amount of time it took to build the watchtowers?
Yeah, but they're towers. He wants to build a whole prison.
That's fair. It was 2 towers. Like, when you talk towers, I wasn't thinking they were big either. Like, I was thinking they were just something that somebody could see from, like high up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking it would be around this, because they're doing 2 of them.
Yeah, but they're just
Bear in mind
towers.
that 6 is as high as it goes, and I don't know what else we would be building. I'll go with 4. I'm okay with 4.
I think 4.
It's a good prison.
Okay.
It's a good prison, all right?
Trying to build a prison. You're not trying to build just a single cell.
Yeah.
Prisons are complex. Towers is just like a fucking edifice with a little filling in there. You know what I'm saying? It's got 1 floor, 2 floors, tops.
All right, Henry. Back to the top of the round. Draw us another spring card.
Spring into action. Get that taken care of. How are you guys rotating the card?
If you hold it and then you do like Q and E, it'll rotate the card.
Okay.
You can also just use your scroll wheel. It'll rotate.
Oh, will I do it too?
Where does everyone sleep? Who is unhappy with this arrangement and why? What natural predators roam this area? Are you safe? I mean, I kind of already answered natural predators.
I feel like... Never mind.
No, you did not. No, you did not. Not even close. You answered what other
There was an
dangers.
attacker coming in. Yeah.
That was
we
an
have an attacker
attacker.
coming in.
That's not a natural predator.
It's not a natural predator. Yeah, like natural predators is it's a fun thing to flesh out. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We should not weigh in too much, but correcting it something is fun.
Where does everyone sleep?
Shelter.
Yeah, houses that are bouncy.
Okay.
No, I feel like
Is there
there
a little
is.
bouncy village?
And am I supposed to draw on the map for this?
Yeah. If something needs to be drawn on the map, we add it to the map.
Okay, I feel like there's lodging. Essentially, the perimeter of the castle.
We have a little bouncy village.
Yeah.
Your stuff is very big every time. I need you to keep in mind that you should not be making it that big.
I mean, it's all of the lodging for the entire area.
It's only 60 to 80 people.
Then I will keep.
It tells you, it warns you to try to keep anything to about an inch when you're adding new stuff.
Okie dokie. I will keep just. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Let me zoom in. I will keep it to 2 strips of lodging that are small.
All right. And then your watchtower should
who's
be
unhappy?
completed. Oh yeah, sorry, there's more.
Who's unhappy about it? I think pretty much everyone outside of the castle is unhappy. Because it's not very big, it's not very lush. It's very basic.
Okay.
Very basic living arrangements.
Okay.
And it's provided by the castle.
All right. Your project finishes. So like that's done. It's on the map now. And what do you want to do for your action? I need to move my project.
Well, first and foremost, I'm gonna do this because now the pile is moved. What do I want to do for my action? What can I do? I can draw on the map. I can start a discussion.
You can hold a discussion. You can discover something new. It can be a problem, an opportunity, or a bit of both. And then you draw that situation on the map, and you can start a project.
Ooh, discovered something new.
Okay.
We discovered in lasers an extension cord that is longer than the ones we've had previously.
Okay. You want to draw a little extension
problem
cord
is
coming out of
it's in lasers.
You draw a little extension rolled up, maybe. I don't know. Smaller than an inch, finished in under 30 seconds. Whenever things seem too controlled or easy, we can use this action to introduce new issues and dilemmas. All right. Yeah, that's it. You found it. You draw it on the map, and now it's Jeff.
Oh shit! Kenny hit the chat.
Oh, yes. Hey Kenny, how's it going?
Asylum. That is what that
actually
prison would be like.
I want to change the extension cord. Same extension cord. We didn't discover something new. We discovered that lasers was pulling it back because it used to reach to the castle. It no longer does. They're taking it away from us.
Oh, those sons of bitches. They're spooling their cord.
Which action would that? Is that still discover something?
It discovers. It can be a problem. He can discover a problem.
Okay. I was just checking to see what that action there
Yeah,
was.
no, it's literally it's very vague. You
working
can
on
discover,
doing the game, you know?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
can discover just about anything as long as you can kind of draw it. Like that's sort of like, and he's created a new problem for us to deal with, right? So
Let's see. Going over what's in the chat here. Kenny agrees that a prison would take much longer than a tower. He also says some other stuff. I'm not going to go over everything he says. Let's see. Training climate would probably help build the bulk of the ones
he knows what he said. Draw a card, Jeff.
Yes, he does.
How you doing,
Then
Kenny?
he just says hi.
Hope the new year's been treating you well.
All right. Spin this motherfucker.
Spin it.
Then we flip this motherfucker. And then
Actually,
we
do
zoom.
you mind if we take a quick second? I know we do banter typically prior, but how was everyone's New Year? No one asked.
It's good.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
It's good. It's the year of the
Yeah,
dragon, baby. It's my year.
No one had anything
do
cool
this.
happen?
This is our year.
Not really. It was, I took it pretty easy. I went and saw their new house. Jeff's house is
Mhm.
big and cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
We got Amber.
We
a new
dropped
car,
in
Jeff.
early, said hey, played a game, played some board games.
You got her a new car?
It did.
Ooh, shit.
What'd you get?
We got her a Jeep Liberty.
Oh, decided against the FJ, huh?
Yes, the Jeep Liberty was a fraction of the price. And while it is a 2014, it is in pristine condition. I will...
All right.
Mm,
Very nice.
Looks very nice.
Yeah. Even the trim that you normally see that's sun faded,
Mm-hmm.
like the black plastic, pristine, like it's never seen sun.
Wild. Kenny's also
Glad to hear you're
doing
doing good, Kenny. Yeah, glad to hear you're doing good.
All right.
That's good.
Let's see.
Yeah, but my New Year's was not special, nothing fancy, which was exactly as intended. So everything
I was
was
gonna say
good.
that was by design.
Oh yeah. We stayed up till midnight. We did our Filipino money rituals, me and my wife, to make sure that money comes in this year. And yeah,
Don't fuck with tradition.
it's working. It's working good enough for me. The
Ooh.
Chinese too lao. All right, what you got,
Weird.
Jeff?
Wild. All right, let's read this. What important and basic tools does the community lack? Or where are you storing your food? Why is this a risky place to store things? Let's see. What basic tools does the community lack? You know what? I think we should go with the storing food. I'm going to go with storing food. Where are you storing food and why is it risky? So let's click in this map, zoom way the fuck
I
out
agree with
again. I think that they're storing food far too close to the chasm. Like the chasm here is like they're storing it like let's switch to the pin and say it's like right here.
Oh, on the other side of the chasm?
Mm-hmm. Not even the easy to get to side. And that's why.
Definitely problematic.
Uh-huh. And they were storing it there before, and like then the chasm formed.
Okay.
But I'm not supposed to give you all that information. All I'm supposed to tell you is where and why. It's on the other side and way too close to the chasm. That's why.
All right.
That does seem problematic.
I don't love it. I'm adding to my jail.
I see that.
It's not jaily enough
You're
for
just
me.
making a Minecraft furnace.
You son of a bitch. It stays though. It's also kind of a face, and I like that about it.
I saw that too. I was like, it's a little robot.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Yes. All right. So we've got a problem with food. Why was it the food is being stored where? Where on the map?
Wow, pay attention. On the other side of the chasm.
On the other side of the chasm, this little X or cross, however you want to interpret it.
Did you just bury it? Is that's problematic?
It's not buried. It's just on the other side of a chasm and also very close to the edge of the chasm.
Give me more than an X marks the spot. That seems. Give me a little turkey leg or something. Come on, I'm never gonna remember what that means.
Yeah, a circle doesn't clarify.
Yeah, we got a lot of circles and squares. That's why I'm trying to I'm gonna make it a little more jaily.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Give me a second. I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna draw something.
Does anyone have any projects other than me? No.
I don't. I didn't start a project.
Nope.
Okay.
Mine was the extension cord.
All right. What's your action, Jeff?
What are the actions again?
You can discover something new. You can start a conversation, or you can start a project. We do have some new problems that projects would help.
That got away from me.
I was gonna say, what on earth is this, Jeff?
Give me a second. All right. I'm hand drawing it. Get out of my space while I'm working. This is my creative space. All right, motherfucker.
It's a quiet year, goddammit. Shut the fuck up.
God damn it.
That's where they're storing the fireballs?
I'm gonna fuck you up.
So
I'm gonna go to your house and I'm gonna hurt you. Anyways.
Joke's on you, I moved.
What are the fucking jokes on you? No, you didn't. What are the actions again? I got distracted by him being an asshole.
You can discover
Ham
something
mode.
new. You can hold a discussion, or you can start a project.
Yeah, sure. Let's start a project. Let's start a project to put a bouncy bridge in the chasm. A bouncy bridge over the chasm.
Oh, a bridge is complicated. I feel like that would take every bit the amount of time that a jail would.
And what kind of bridge? Suspension? All we have is rubber.
It's a bouncy bridge. And a lack of
I
rubber
was gonna
cement.
say,
and we have a rubber cement scarcity, which I think would probably need to be resolved.
Yeah, we should probably work on that. Yeah, 5 weeks because of the lack of material.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say lack of materials is a big factor there, especially
That
after
seems
the
like
last
that seems like a very important but very
built.
difficult thing for us to build.
Yeah,
like we haven't even established how big that chasm might be. It's probably huge.
It's fucking gigantic.
I can't wait to walk across that as an adventure.
Jay.
Yeah,
me too.
Jay, you made a prison out of bouncy house material.
Yes, it's a padded rubber room.
It's the big bouncy house, the bouncy big house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on, man.
All right.
Get with the times.
All right, we got to start rolling. We're gonna start doing this now that we understand a little bit better. What is this? There is a disquieting legend about this place. What is it? Or alarming weather patterns destroy something. How and what?
This is your card, right?
Yeah, this is my card. What? Why? Why are you doing that? Stop it. Okay. I'm gonna say there's the disquieting legend is that the earthquake is from something living beneath bouncy houses. You wanted the czar of the chasm? There may be a czar of the chasm. We don't know what's underneath bouncy houses. But something caused that earthquake. That's the legend. We don't know if it's true, but legend states that something lives underneath.
Mark Quake.
Yep. And then 1 more week for my prison, and you get to also, whatever your project is, you get to reduce it by 1, Jeff. And I'm going to start another project. I think that I don't like that the other departments are trying to take back their power. We need that. How are we going to blow up any of these items? Once the bridge is built, we need to inflate it. We can't do this without our electrical cords. We cannot lose even one. They are scarce. I'm going to build one, like a set of those like reels that we can use. Like I want big ol' like Titanic reels that can keep the electrical cords and also roll them out. You know what I'm talking about? The big old electrical cord reel, but huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we can crank it and pull it back from lasers.
Okay. But you're not
We
going
can
to
tie
build
a
it out of
string to
our.
it.
You're not going to build it out of rubber or anything. You're going to find other resources for that.
Okay, well. Okay, you know what?
Right? That's the point, right? We got to.
Well,
we got to use
How
the
many weeks?
available
Just tell me how many
resources.
weeks. One problem at a time. How many weeks?
If you're using
Jay,
other
Do me a favor.
resources,
I just drew my card. Pick something else.
For me?
I have the exact
Don't
card that
build
you're
that?
trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
don't do
Okay,
that.
then
Don't jump the gun.
I'm starting a science project. That's a little bit of cheating, but he did point
There you
out
go.
something that has been on my mind, and it's all we have is rubber and rubber cement. I'm doing science. I'm going to make plastic. I'm going to learn how to I'm going to develop new materials. I'm going to put in a 6
there it
weeks.
is. That's
6
the thing we
weeks,
should be
we're
doing.
developing a new material.
Yes, 100%.
Rubber cannot. The ruse. A blasphemer has entered the chat, and he said that we can't make it all out of rubber. And the ruse went, what? And he's in a room somewhere, and everybody thinks he's crazy, but he's going to do it. 6 weeks, new
Okay.
material. I'm making plastic. All right.
Okay,
What do you got, Henry?
my card. An old piece of machinery is discovered, broken, but perhaps repairable. What is it? What would it be used for? It is the wind-up. They discovered the extension cord wind-up.
Definitely for the
Fantastic.
future's sake,
It's broken, but
for the
repairable.
way this game is meant to work, don't do that again.
Yes,
Because
no,
that fucks with
I know,
the
it was a
flow of the
little
whole
cheaty.
thing. Yeah.
We'll cheat one time. It's spring. We're allowed to do things. Things get worse as the cards go on, just so you know. This is my little,
and I
this is my
realized I
little
made a
inventor's
goof,
tower.
and my first card was actually a summer card.
Your first card was a
I didn't
summer card?
realize that I
Oops.
accidentally drew a summer card for my first card.
Oops.
But
All right. Well, we can move. It's fine. It's not going to make a big deal in the grand scheme of things. All right. So we found an old wench. We got that. So move our projects, Jeff, and then what's your action, Henry?
they're gonna start repairing it.
Yeah, if you can keep track of my project for me, because I'm trying to take these fucking notes.
Yeah. What project? You had a 4 project, right? Okay.
5.
It's a 2 now. Was it a 5?
It was a 5. Yeah.
Okay, then it's at 3
Because
now.
it's a bridge, which was hard, and we're running
okay.
low on things.
Okay, yeah. You're down to 3 turns now. All right. So what's your action, Henry?
They're gonna start repairing the wench.
Okay, so it's not fully functional yet?
No, it is not.
What do we think? How beat up is that wench? It's just a wench, right? Shouldn't be too hard to fix. 2 weeks?
And we said giant wench, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so that's not ridiculous for me to make it that big.
No. It could
Okay.
also be like a bunch of them. It's just to represent it on the map.
Given the status of it, I would give that 3 weeks. Because it's beat to crap, and it's huge.
Okay. Kenny says Bounco the clown, which is currently pumping up
So
his
I'll say
massive
3
clown
weeks.
shoes so he can jump all the way across the chasm in a single leap. On the upside, if you make him fail his jump, he'll have to spend another century pumping up his shoes again to have another attempt. These sort of things are a learning process. You got to wing it. All right, Jeff, your card. Oh wait, no, we need Henry's action.
I did my action. They started preparing.
Oh yeah, okay. So Jeff, card.
Sorry. All right.
Should I move one spring card into summer?
No. We got to go through all of them in theory. So just you jumping the gun once isn't going to break the game. It's fine. As far as I can tell, they're not that drastically different yet. So.
All right. There's another community somewhere on the map. Where are they? What sets them apart from you? Or what belief or practice helps unify your community? I like the idea of introducing another community. Put this with my cards up here. Let's look at the map here. Another community.
Are they supposed to be a part of our community, or is it a surrounding community?
It's just another community in the
Because
map.
the way
not neighboring.
Wait, I understood
in the
it.
map.
In
Okay.
the map. Yeah. He's right, you know. Let's see.
Somebody's in our territory.
So this is
Oh.
procedural setting building.
Yeah, basically.
Yes,
the game's
we're building the map.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
hilarious. So very technically, and I just want to make this clear, it's too late for us to do anything about it. The orientation of the things around this is wrong because you started in a way that made sense. Clouds is on the left, clouds is on the right, lasers on the left. But then because you're looking at it in a different way, guns is supposed to be where Bones is, and Bones is supposed to be where guns
over by me.
Yes.
It's not something that you.
It's not a huge deal. We can't go back on anything at this stage, but I thought it was
we can
worth
fix it in
mentioning.
post.
If you redraw the map for your world, you can adjust accordingly.
We can swap bones and guns.
You just mirror your map, or whatever.
Not a huge deal.
All right.
So
fun fact: no map is accurate.
Let's see, another community.
I feel like that's inaccurate.
Yeah. So Kenny, we're playing A Quiet Year. It's a procedural setting building game, like you said. It's this one focuses on building a community and dealing with the tribulations of like trying to survive an apocalypse kind of event, so to speak. And this is part of several games that we're playing, fleshing out a fantasy world that we're building for Henry to DM someday, called Mediocre Mart.
I think that there is I think that there's a race of advanced,
Essentially, Kenny, yeah.
like a highly advanced race of monkeys, not apes, monkeys.
Okay.
And they're over here in this corner of the bounce house because there's not much going on over here. And they have been
Are
to
they like
guns.
Mojo Jojo?
Are we excited for Planet of the Apes coming out, Jeff?
No, I just wanted to think
I
of
am.
another thing that bounced, and then I thought of no more monkeys jumping on the bed,
Ah!
and there are now more.
So
monkeys.
is Mojo Jojo leading them?
Not, not if copyright has anything to say about it.
Hey, they didn't make that movie. Nobody cares.
What? I said Mojo Jojo.
So yeah, there's a
It's Jojo Mojo.
Jomoko Hoko.
Jojo Mojo. Ho ho moho. Or moho ho ho.
So we'll put a little boop 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 boop. That's way too big. I don't know what I'm doing.
Just draw a monkey.
Yeah,
Can't be that hard.
Right? Yeah, it just has to represent it on the map. That's a good point. A little monkey would be great. It'd be very good for me.
Okay,
all right,
yeah,
so
watch me
I've
fucking-
I
moved.
like
I've
that
moved
I was
your.
being facetious and Jay's like, yeah.
Yeah,
do
fuck it.
that.
Draw a little
Absolutely.
monkey, man.
Just draw a monkey.
If it makes
man.
sense, if it makes sense to me, and I remember what it is later, because it looks like we're gonna come back to this another day.
We are definitely going to be coming back.
Would you like me to draw a monkey?
No, I got it.
He's very proud of his drawing skills. I moved your things. What action do you think you're gonna take, Jeff?
I think.
Hi, Tony.
Tony.
Hey. I think that. Oh gosh. The action I think I'm going to take is. We've already done a bunch of projects starting. I think maybe
The real
we should-
antagonists to this adventure campaign, Kenny, are us. We are the antagonists. It's our bullshit. That's what we're going to be dealing with if we play here.
Yeah, for real.
Yes.
What's up, Jeff?
I think that this is a great monkey, guys.
And Kenny's right. Back in the gap, they drew sea serpents and stuff on the map. Why not a monkey?
Don't you fuck up my monkey. Don't you fuck it up. I see you. Anyways.
I'm just zooming in on it, so it makes my...
So I'm going to make a discovery because we didn't do a lot of discovery things. And I think that... What did my card say again?
You discovered the monkeys have gotten into guns.
Yeah, that's what I think is... Monkeys have gotten into the guns. This secret
That's the discovery.
We discovered the monkeys got into guns. Which is super
hate
dangerous.
That's super bad. Hey, how come every time we
Super
discover shit,
dangerous.
it's bad?
Yeah, I think
Can we
that's
just
it.
once discover a lake of chocolate or something?
We did. We discovered all kinds of things like that while we were creating some of these other things.
All right. So my card. Are there children in your community? If there are, what is their role? Or how old are the eldest of the community and what special needs do they have? I think, yeah, kids. We got kids. What's their role? We have children in the community, and their role is they have to run because they're the only ones fast enough with a paintbrush full of rubber cement to whatever project is being done. They've got a little.
Oh God!
There's the river of rubber cement, and they've got to run rubber cement. Whether it's by the bucketful or a paintbrush, they've got to get it before it dries out.
They're like
Not to mention
little
the fact
rum runners, but like also not at all
Yes.
like that.
Yes, that is the
Kenny
what they
says
do.
Scientists are saying there's several monkey types entering their Stone Age right now.
Fuck yeah. No notes. Go monkeys. If you have a project, don't forget to do it every card flip. Henry.
right.
I'm going to hold a discussion. And it's gonna be a statement. And it's we need to do something about like it's getting more and more dangerous all the time. We need warriors.
But who among us is prepared to fight? And what weapons would we wield?
Hey, I need to stand down for a couple minutes. Someone could just play my turn. I gotta help Amber with something.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's it. That's what's said at the meeting. Should I draw his card, like you said?
Yeah,
It's his turn.
yeah. I think that's what's said at the meeting, and also, like, we're not meant to resolve anything with discussions, right?
No, it's literally just to bring it up. Like, because somebody could start a project on their turn and be like, I'm going to start training us, or I'm going to make weapons, or I'm going to.
That's definitely a weapon or a thing to be started.
All right. I'm going to draw for him so we can keep it moving.
Yeah.
How long do you want to go tonight? Should we try to get through spring, maybe?
We can try. We shouldn't have too many cards left, right?
There are only 4 after this one.
Yeah, we can do
All
4
right.
more cards.
So there's a large body of water on the map. Where is it? What does it look like? Or there's a giant man-made structure on the map. Where is it? Why is it abandoned? Oh, that's way more interesting.
Also, it's kind of already done.
Which one?
It's the castle that's exploded.
Yeah, that's boring. I'm adding a new one.
Okay.
He is acting like this castle is functioning. I am treating it as nothing. It's a nothing burger. No one's ever rebuilt it. No one's ever done anything with it.
Nobody has rebuilt it.
It's wreckage.
Yeah. It's just wreckage.
It's a symbol of a bygone era, and that era is gone. The kids don't even remember what it was. The big. Okay, so how is that worded? There's a giant man-made structure on the map. Where is it, and why is it abandoned?
So hold on, keep going, but I'm writing things.
Yeah,
These silly notes. What is
All
this? Right. What is this circle thing here?
That's my little inventor's tower. That's where he's trying to develop plastic. He's a little wizard. He's going to try to figure out new arcane shit for us.
Sure, yeah.
Gave him a little research tower. All right, so I'm building a fort, and the fort was abandoned because it got popped very quickly by monkeys with guns. We did have something over here. Didn't last long the moment monkeys got guns. They didn't even invade. They were just firing guns, and it caught a bullet. You know, we didn't even know why it
firing them by accident with their feet.
Yeah, yeah, and that didn't go great. So this is the deflated, bouncy fort that we abandoned just before everything went real shitty. Because and now we know why. Because we recently found out that there's monkeys with guns. We kept patching it for weeks, and then we gave up. Like a new hole appeared every day.
That's why that is what created the scarcity of the rubber cement.
Yes. Absolutely. All right, there's my little fort. It's gone. And then that's going to make I think your... Yeah, your... Was it the bridge?
Yes.
Your bridge is done. And what was he building?
He was fixing the big spool.
He was fixing the rollers. So the rollers and the bridge are completed. All right, your turn, Jeff. Just need to introduce some ghouls and deathclaws. I mean, it is going to be a D&D game, I imagine, which means that everywhere will have your standard mix of shit. We've just added a standard mix of D&D garbage and guns with monkeys with guns.
With guns. It's
Guns with
crazy over here.
It's a wild place, this mediocre mart.
Yeah. It is without doubt a wild place. Yeah. I'm just gonna make this easy on me as far as zooming in. Because I'm gonna need to zoom in. Okay. Someone new arrives. Who? Or two of the community's younger members get in a fight. What provoked them? We haven't done a lot with the youth. I'm going to say two of the community's younger members get in a fight. I'm going to say one of them is Prince Joey.
Okay.
Because he is technically that, right? He's one of the community's younger members.
Yeah.
And I believe that he was provoked over his insistence on trying to rebuild the castle.
Some people remember the castle.
Some people remember.
Oh shit, was that the last card?
Oh, did I accidentally draw all the cards?
Oh yeah, you drew all the cards.
All right, well, find a way to fix that for me.
Well, we've only got...
Super Chief.
I'm just going to drop this over by Henry because it's the last card, so he won't really have a choice. And I'm going to go ahead and draw this one for me. What is your action?
I just did one. I guess it will be my card, wouldn't it? Because then it would be you, Henry, me again. So this is still my card. What are the actions again?
This is the card you just drew, isn't it?
No.
Oh, okay. The actions were start a conversation, start a project, find a thing, discover something.
I'm going to start a conversation, even though we're missing one. And I think I'm going to start it with a statement. The statement is, we must abandon the castle.
I think that my response is, I'll give two just to cover Henry. One is what castle, and the dissenting opinion is, but it's the monument of our kingdom. Like,
yeah,
we're the ruse. Like we can't. I know there's no time now, but we can't just give up on it completely.
Yeah, we must abandon it. Yeah, I love that. It's good. It's good setting.
We have why abandon it? All right. All right. So, what's the most beautiful thing in this area, and what's the most hideous thing in this area? Fuck it. I'm just gonna pile shit on the castle. The most hideous thing in the area is the goddamn castle. It's a giant lump of deflated.
Oh, it's shredded too. It's exploded.
Yeah, it's shredded. It's just trash.
Yeah.
It's raw material that no one is using.
It's part of the excess that we have.
All right, I'm the only one with an ongoing project at this point, huh?
Yeah, a bridge is built, baby.
Almost got plastic built though. I'm gonna start another project. We got too many things that need to get done around here, man.
Yes. Okay.
I'm going to. Oh, you want to draw on your bridge since it's completed?
Yes.
Or I can handle it if you're doing something.
I can do it.
Okay. For a project, I want to. Oh, I'm gonna start training warriors.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
Love
one
that.
of my guys wanted to train warriors. How long do you think it'll take to get like a barracks going? Not to
Training-
build one, just like to
Yeah,
build
just to be
like
training. To be training.
Yeah.
I'd say that probably won't take too long to train some warriors. Some warriors. So like I don't know, like 2 weeks.
Okay. All right, so it is Henry. We went once without him. Should we let him give him a moment?
We can give him a little bit. We can give him a little bit of time.
Huh. So real quick, while we have this break, I'll explain a few of the little rules to the game that we might not be delving into. Contempt tokens. If ever you feel like you weren't consulted or honored in a decision-making process, you can take a piece of contempt and place it in front of you. This is how we express disagreement or tension. If someone makes a statement or starts a project that you don't agree with, you don't get to speak out of turn. You are instead invited to take a piece of contempt. Contempt will generally remain in front of players
so
until the end of the
bad.
game. It will act as a reminder of past tensions. If someone else does something
so bad
Oh,
about
yeah, we
staying
can't shut
quiet.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we're streaming. If we stay quiet the whole time, it's not a lot of fun. If someone else does something that you greatly support and you would mend relationships, rebuild trust, you can discard a contempt token. Abundance and scarcity. At the start of the game, we'll have one resource in abundance and at least that many in scarcity. These lists are guides for interpreting the health of the community. We can add or subtract things from these lists whenever it feels appropriate to do so. So, like if we make a project to fix our scarcity of electrical cords,
Right.
then we can fix that.
Right. Of course.
So pacing. Spring's going to ask us a lot of questions. We will learn more about our community's inner workings and our surrounding landscape. In summer, larger threats and greater progress will both emerge. Autumn will challenge us with more serious dangers and losses. In winter, the community will continue its work and preparations, while we as players will contend with the dramatic irony that at any moment, everything could end.
That is there's definitely elements of that we're using and elements of it that we are not. I'm sorry for everybody that has to listen to me loudly type, but I can't.
Yeah. Gotta get you one of them quiet keyboards someday.
It doesn't help that I have this little wood desktop right now because my glass one broke.
We've been introducing a lot of problems in spring of our own accord, and it may have been a mistake.
It was 100% a mistake, but
it's fun. The poor ruse, man. Hey, you need a group for the heroes to help. These people are gonna be down. Yeah, they need help, man. There's some quests gonna be in this area.
There will be quests.
We'll give you all the money we got.
The thing that
we give you all the rubber you can hold.
The thing I'm hoping one of these games will really help us do here in the future is I'm hoping that one of these will help us establish NPCs better than this, key NPCs better than this. Because at this point, we've established some, mostly of our own volition, and the ones that weren't were all the way back in our pantheon, which was great for that. It did do that. But it also helped us build an entire world so we could, some of these more micro games, feels like that's something that we should be doing as a person who's built a world before.
This game specifically tells you not to name people, but I am of the McElroy vibe where sometimes a name just is important, like old Mick Wiggers or whatever that guy who's may or may not have popped the Smitty. Old Smitty, yeah, he's an NPC now. Rue is an NPC that kind of came up in the other thing. Like, you have to name some of them. Like, some of them are getting created, whether you like it or not. And I actually kind of like that they're happening organically. I think that's neat. It's not flushing it out, like you're saying,
Yeah.
though. Like it's not filling a world, you
Right.
know?
And I think that's one of the things that, like, I think that building these communities and like how they work together is cool. Like that's kind of what feather
Feather Beak and Bone.
yes, did. It helped us build a community and how they work together and kind of who was in charge, but there wasn't a lot of named NPCs there. There was a couple, and that was a tool that maybe could have helped you more if you played it the right way. But
I will say that as a GM, I like this because I find it very easy to create NPCs if I know their backdrop, because then you can figure out what's important to them,
Right.
what their goals are, why their goals are tangential, or
yeah,
or running against what's going on around them. Makes them, good guys or villains depending on what's going on. It's easy to fill in those blanks when you have so much here. There's a
Yeah.
lot to work with, and maybe there's some stuff that we throw out here on the map that we do nothing with, like the old fort or something may never come back up, and
Yeah.
then the DM shows up and goes, oh, I can do something with that. It's
Right.
literally just fodder for creativity later.
Well, yeah. I think that at the end of the day, there's always room for things to go one way or another, for somebody to expand on things the way they like. But I personally, for me, when I'm building worlds, key NPCs are something that I build things around.
Sure.
Like, because to me, people make the world. Like,
But-
and sometimes the world makes people. So it's a little of this and a little of that.
But Mike, when you're the GM, do you need help making those NPCs? Or is that something that, like, because it's important to you, you don't have a problem making an important NPC is easy sometimes, right?
Right.
So, like, maybe it's harder to make the world around.
I think that's kind of my point, though. I think, like, as a world builder and a GM, I'm kind of doing some of those things hand in hand.
Sure.
Right. Where I'm like, these are the key NPCs. This is why they exist. This is the history that I have for them. Right. And as a GM, that's the stuff I'm looking back on, like, in relation to. Personally, with the stuff that I built so far, I'm always looking back on the stuff that I built to build things in relation to what I have. Because I think that most of us don't really build everything fully flushed.
Yeah.
You build stuff with blank spots. So when you have a couple of each kind of thing established, it's easier to build around that, from my perspective, at least.
I think it's pretty universal. NPCs are kind of where the movers and shakers, right?
Right.
If you make an interesting character, you make them interesting, and your players give a shit about them, and then you give them a motive that's interesting. Like, you give them a goal of their own, and now all of a sudden they're a protagonist or an antagonist that, like, you actually have to pay attention to as another player, right?
Yeah.
I need to know what that dude's up to, good or bad, and that's what makes it interesting. So, like, so you've got to have these drives, and the world around it, you can flesh out around them. I do them sort of tangentially, like, typically. I'm trying to think if when I build NPCs, do they come before or after the community, right?
Right.
I think it's like depends. Because, see, like, current campaign that we're doing with the podcast, I didn't make those NPCs.
Right.
I'm building around.
You built and that's, so here's the thing too, right? In our current campaign, in the podcast, if you don't listen to the podcast, go check out the podcast. In our current campaign, you built the world, or at least the bones of the world.
I've been fleshing out parts of it forever. It's been the same world I've played in for a long time.
You built the world, or at least the bones of the world, and you started having your friends play in the world, and then they became the NPCs that helped build the world. So it was kind of fueling each other. And I think that's for me, I think that's kind of how my process goes, where maybe I start with, like, okay, this is
Yeah.
the world, or I go, this is a really important NPC, and then that helps me inform the world a little bit. And then once the world is informed, then that helps inform the next layer of NPCs, and that layer of NPCs then helps me. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and
so,
maybe
like,
sometimes I do it the other way around, but
Yeah, so currently the way like I'm building like they're old PCs, right? That's the current NPCs, and I'm building down because I'm having to build it from the perspective of, well, you're level 1 players. How do you interact with these big bads? Like, and this is a pretty common way I feel like of doing any D&D campaign, right? You build NPCs from the top down if you have a big bad in mind, because then it's like, well, they're not going to fight him or even meet him right away because they'll die. These snot-nosed little drunks that I've introduced into the or that they've all made for my world would tell this big bad to go screw, and he'd blow them up with a fireball. So who do they meet first? Well, one of his generals. What is the general like? Why is the general beatable? You know, like little things to help make a campaign last. What is putting flaws in your own NPCs is for me a very fun thing. Sometimes those flaws just are organic. Like when you guys met Vivaldi in the campaign, I made him way more capable originally because I didn't know if you guys would stick with him long or not.
Yeah.
And when it became clear that you guys were moving against him, I made him just too full of himself to succeed. Like, that seemed like the best way to go. Like, he's blind because he doesn't think you guys could do anything, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, like I say, I think that for me, the other thing is as a world builder, I don't build any, as a GM and as a world builder, I don't build anything like in the traditional way either. So, like, I didn't go, there's a BBEG in any of my worlds. There's not any of the things I've ever built. There wasn't like okay, this is their end goal. It was like, here's some stuff they might find. Here's some things I think are cool. I built stuff around weird concepts because I'm fucking stupid like that. And I like to make things hard for myself.
You really do.
So like
you gotta get some dudes. You need more movers and shakers in your world. You need some motherfuckers with some shit going on. They don't have to be big bads. They just gotta want something, and we need to be in the way. Like, that's all you need.
Yeah, I mean, that's classic, right? That's what everybody does. It's a classic sort of thing. I just like to, I like to be the kind of person that like changes the way that things are done a little. I like to go against the grain sometimes. Maybe it's the
you made a
punk kid
very
in
realistic world, and the problem is the very realistic world is too real. I don't want to punch him in the face. He's just a dude doing his job. But I am a man who can cast fireball, and I would like to do that.
And that's my shit, dude. Like, it's
rude, man. It's so rude. That. You cannot hand me fireball and then be like, but it's a real world, and you'll feel bad if you cast fireball.
That's my shit, dude. I love that. Like, that's what builds character. See, I love things built around characters. So for me, I'm not gonna just fucking shoot you out as a GM.
Well,
I'm not gonna be like, hey, here's everything I built. Here's the path for you to walk. I want you to build your characters, and I want while you're building your characters, for me to go, here's what I'm going to put.
I understand that, and I agree with it to a certain point, but I am going to push back because now this show has just become no dice again. That Spider-Man has plenty of character, and he's just surrounded by big bads who definitely do goofy, nefarious shit for no reason, and that is what built his character. Like that, you can build character without it being
almost always a part of those characters being built.
But those characters are extreme, which is what I'm kind of arguing, is that you don't have enough extremes. Like, we haven't met any like villains yet, you know?
I haven't.
We're getting there.
I haven't gone in the direction of pure villains yet, and like, I think that for our game, which we'll get back to here soon, Wacko Mundo, I think
we're done.
We'll see how that.
We don't TTRPG on this page anymore. That's ridiculous. We haven't done it in weeks.
We'll see a kind of return of that stuff. And I think that as we move through Mythcraft, it gives me another opportunity to sort of like work with their world and tell a story that I think is fun. And maybe I'll do something more traditional there.
I think Mythcraft is definitely built toward it. If you want to play Mythcraft as intended, you've got to go pretty traditional. Like, it seems to be a very conflicted world that they're developing. It's real. It's something up your alley, but it definitely has. It's got the bones there to instill the conflict, I think.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And that's sort of a note that I think you should just pay attention to as you play the Mythcraft stuff that they've got for you. Bear in mind, like, you can do all the things you're talking about and still have some zany
more
motherfucker.
Traditional.
Yeah. Granted, it is on us a little bit because when we had like bandits that we could have gone after, we played too real and we said, that sounds terrible. Let's not. Or the fact that what we really legitimately should do is go fight a werewolf, but we can't for out-of-game reasons. We can't get Ulvin back.
Right.
Some of it's been out of game shit, which is a shame.
Yeah, there's complexity to everything. And then there's, like I didn't want to build a world with some fucking big bad evil guy for what was supposed to be a goofy campaign I built for Weasel. That's really what it was. I was like, let me build a goofy campaign for my buddy to run a bard through. And so I did. And I think that there's a lot more fun and art in my world that I'm trying to like be like, this is here, and you're touching the edges of it. And that's the stuff I want to get to.
The problem was you built. I came with the character concept first. We started the campaign off, and then everybody brought a really wild addition to that. And then everybody I think is currently or started with their hands tied because they all felt pulled in a slightly different direction by the other players. And we ended up doing the thing that I complained about in our first podcast campaign where everybody wasn't moving because everybody wanted to move in a different direction. And I feel like that might have been one of the early problems with Wacko. But
yeah, I mean,
which is one of the reasons why you built, like you said, you built it a wacky world for me to find the art in, and I didn't. I was like, no, I'm actually going to follow this little girl. It seems best to just do what the little girl says. And that became like, and I was like, I'm not going to look into any of the art because I'm just going to
do
with this little girl.
You're going to do
with this seems
it did.
This seems like the only way it's all go in one direction.
Yeah, it was strange. I mean, we had a hard time getting any lift off with it in the first place, right? It was, we quickly had to replace one of our characters. We had people with weird motivations, like I thought allowing her to be a little girl was going to be fun, and then we got into all the complexities of what that was like, and I was like, okay,
yeah, man. Well, so that was the flip side. If you wanted a wacky world, then we could have just taken the girl on Zane, like we could have gone balls to the wall insano mode.
Yeah.
But you also encouraged reality and drama because, like you said, that's your meat and potatoes that you love so much, is treating it realistically, which means it all of a sudden we had to treat her like a real little girl because that would have been wild. And it didn't get so wacky because all of a sudden it was like, well, how do we thread that needle? And we've been threading the needle, don't get me wrong, but it definitely was not as
I think another big element of that is that not everybody, I think that other people took it more seriously than I intended. I think that I'm just going to say it out loud. I think that Randall took it more seriously than I intended.
Every time.
And like
he's serious
when
guy.
I liked him at the table, and I think he did some really great stuff. But I think when he took it more seriously than I intended, that pushed it in that sort of direction a little, where I was like, okay, I was trying to have fun with some of the options, and like, I spit out these like scenarios where it's like, okay, she was looking for a parent. That's what she knew. I took some of my advice, not my advice, but I took some of the lessons I learned from playing with you, where it's like, okay, she knows this, but that doesn't mean that's what I have to give her. I don't have to give her what she thinks she knows. So I gave her something
People know
else.
shit wrong all the time.
Exactly. And
no, I a lot of my crit is not typically aimed at you for the beginning of that campaign. Which, like I said, we've kind of gotten into a stride. Part of it was simply because, like, I felt like, for one, people held things really close to their chest that they didn't need to. Like, I feel like I am still to this day gonna shit on Ulvin for all of the attempts that Weasel made to learn more about Tulthus and getting nothing. To the point where it's like, I will no longer talk to Tulthus because it's a nothing burger. Like,
yeah,
it took forever to learn even the barest minimum of like what he believed in as a cleric, right? Which seems wild.
Yeah. No, I mean it's wild because I mean there's a lot of elements to it too, right? Like there was the whole point where I literally had to be like, hey guys, stop trying to help me DM.
Yeah.
You know, and I had to say that to everybody.
That was a problem too. Absolutely. You had 3 DMs at the table trying to help the baby, but at the same time, that meant we weren't playing the game.
Right. And I was like, I can't plan to have you guys do things if the whole time you're looking to take my bait. Like,
yeah. I mean, one of the hardest things to this day that I have as a DM is realizing that I need to make failure punishing. Like, make them make a roll and then make failure punishing, and that's how you drive action forward, right?
Yeah.
It's like, make that persuasion check. You just tried to talk that woman into letting you in the house, right? And then you fail it and she calls the police. You know, like, actually, I'm going to call the guards now. Would have been like a good way to just move us along, you know? Yeah. And it's something that I'm bad about. I'm bad about making really concrete penalties for failure. You know, it's like, reward them when they succeed, but also punish them when they fail. And I'm kind of soft as a DM. I don't do it very well. I do recommend every DM punish harder than you think.
No. I try to, you know, I told you guys right out the gate that I was going to, like, allow you some leeway up until a point. And then after that, I was going to be like, hey, dude, this is it.
And then we all decided, let's go to the most dangerous place for that to happen in.
Uh-huh. And, you know,
that being said, you are quickly learning, though. I can tell that, like, you let us get to like level 5, and that's like the tipping point where it's like, oh, actually, it's hard to kill you. It's actually very difficult to challenge you guys without breaking like the economy of like D&D, and just because I can. You're the DM. I can fuck you.
It's weird. It's weird because it's like there's times where I throw stuff at you and I'm like, this will be fine. And I'm like, oh, that's too much. And I'll be like, this is too much.
Bulette fight was fucked up, man.
And then I'll be like, ooh, this is too much. And then you're like, ooh, this is fine. And I'm like, okay. All right. I don't know how this shit works at all.
Yeah, Kenny, if someone ignores you too much, you give up. That's kind of, that was my take. And it's a problem that I have had a lot of times the few times I PC, I try to be the guy who I don't try to play a nosy character, but I do try to play the player who tries to like, hey, this is a moment to like tell me something about your character, right? Like, I try to like toss people the ball, you know? And if I toss people the ball and it lands at their feet, I'm always so like, I get that it's sort of like a demonstration of like how talented people are at role play to catch the ball appropriately for their character.
Yeah.
But this group should have been good at it because they've all been playing nearly as long as me. And so when Ulvin would let the ball hit his feet, I was like, I hope that's a character choice, but it baffles me.
I mean, and what I'll say is then when I pushed you guys into a section where you could learn more about him, you could see it was kind of a character choice.
Yeah, no, I trusted Ulvin, right? But it was so frustrating.
Absolutely. Ooh, first time in the chat.
Are you a bot or are you real? Blink twice if you're real.
Man.
Yeah, sure, man. Ken Subissionist, but could you please tell me how many of these dots have a bus in them?
Going back to what's Kenny saying.
How many motorcycles?
How many motorcycles? How many motorcycles do you see on the screen? Going back to what Kenny said, he was talking about his low magic setting and his dungeons that manifest monsters, which sounds pretty crazy in his world.
Everything Kenny tells me about his world makes me simultaneously very interested to play and terrified for anybody who happens to be in his DM domain.
Yeah, you can also end up going through
Kenny's
anomalies, and everything on that end of the portal can be hostile to you. And smaller worlds are possible to reach. Each world has its own physics laws. It's just you created a gate world.
I feel like, Jeff, you always tell me what kind of D&D you want to play. Kenny makes the D&D you want to play. It's a god-awful sandbox of just, like, everywhere you go, there's going to be something for you to find. And it's probably going to be, let's say, interesting.
Yeah. Kenny makes some stuff that is definitely complex. Complex in a way I like, for sure. But just like, how do we? Well, we should keep going. He's been gone. Seems to not come back.
We've got 2 cards. Let's finish spring and without him, and we'll fill him in on what he missed.
Teacup Worlds. I like that.
All right, I love his card. A charismatic young girl convinces many to help her with an elaborate scheme. What is it? Who joins her endeavors? Start a project to reflect. Or a charismatic young girl tries to tempt many into sinful or dangerous activity. Why does she do this? How does the community respond?
Oof. Let's each, because he's not here, let's each pitch one version of this and we decide which one's the best.
Sure. I'm okay with that.
You or me first?
It's my card. I do have 2 options.
Oh, is it yours? I thought that was his.
Well, it's his. I flipped it. You're right. I'll start because I flipped it. Yeah. I'm going to give you one for each of these, is what I'm going to say, because I've got one for either one, and you can tell me which one you think, or throw out whatever you think.
I'll pitch
either
one too. We'll see.
Either A carny shows up, and that's the tempter.
Ooh. Tempt for sin.
Yes, attempt for sin, or we say that the root, it's not necessarily a girl, it's the root. Rue is trying to rebuild the castle. He actually convinces people to sacrifice. It would be a long trip for a carny, but we did say that they travel, so like that's kind of their whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying it's possible.
Or Prince Rue's trying to get everybody to build the castle, and it's a total fucking like pipe dream. It's gonna waste. That's the project that Rue gets everyone to do.
I think that this is what I'm going to pitch. I pitch that a brave young Rue girl endeavors, realizing that they seem unprotected and seeing dangers coming from all sides, wants to brave the Department of Lasers to acquire a new weapon for them to protect themselves with, being that the small faction of monkeys with guns is just dangerous.
Yeah.
And the dogs from the dogmen necromancers from Bones seem to be encroaching for their resources.
Want that rubber pile. Yeah, they want the rubber pile. They want those rubber squeaky toys. So she wants to go on a quest for arms. You want to start a quest.
I want to start a quest for arms. I think that's what I'm pitching. So
it's going to take all the warriors I trained.
Of those 3 ideas, what do we think is the best?
Okay, let's pare mine down to one.
I think the Carney idea is the better of the 2 ideas.
Okay, so our Temptress is the adventure, our Temptress is Carney. Our charismatic young girl is the adventure.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, I love both. What if we just flipped a coin?
Hey, I've got a coin.
Yeah.
I've got a fancy
Positive, or tails Temptress, obviously.
Yo, check this out. For the last 2 gifts that Big Tony has gotten me has been a real like a you're an adult. This is a plan for the future gift. This is silver.
I can't see that at all, but it's
See
just
if
a
I can get it
moon.
to
It's so
focus.
bright. Yeah, I can't see it.
It's a big silver fucking coin. Here it is.
I can see that it's a
Compared to
silver
my
coin. I cannot see anything on it.
It's a buffalo silver.
Nice.
It is literally like bullion.
All right, so what do we get?
All right, here we go. So heads or tails?
Tails is this Temptress.
Tails of the Temptress. Heads.
Okay, so we've got now we've got an NPC. What do you want the NPC? Who's the NPC? Add it to our actual notes, I think, because this seems big.
This is big for sure.
We have a secondary leader popping up other than Prince Rue.
Yeah. It's dangerous to go alone. Here, take this. Gives her a wooden sword.
Hell yeah. And how many weeks for the adventure?
I think that, what is her name going to be? I think her name should be Hold on, I'm thinking this. It's got to be something interesting. Sheila. Her name is Sheila. And Sheila, little Sheila there, is going to go off into lasers. I think it's going to be at least 2 weeks, maybe 3.
I mean, my soldiers aren't ready. She's taken nobody who knows anything out there.
Yeah, let's call that 3 then. If it's nobody knows, yeah, let's call it 3.
All right, 3 weeks. All right.
The charismatic young Sheila.
My action is going to be to.
Yeah, hold on.
Should I discover something new?
On this keyboard.
We have plastic now. I'm going to start building melee weapons for the soldiers. I have plastic swords, plastic spears, those little cocktail swords. We're going to develop weapons. I'm going to say it's 4 weeks. We're going to arm everybody. All right, man. Let's do your last card so we can call it.
Yeah, absolutely. I just had to write that note about Sheila. All right.
I drew a little laser sword by the corner of lasers down there.
Hell yeah, laser swords.
Quest. Laser sword.
Laser swords.
I don't know why a laser sword is a sword and the cross piece is just a laser gun. Makes sense to me.
Pew, pew, pew. Sha, sha. All right. What group has the highest status in the community? What must people do to gain inclusion in this group? Or are there distinct family units in the community? If so, what family structures are common? Yeah, I mean, I'd say that it pretty well has to be a distinct family unit of three at a time, right? That would make sense because like the kangaroo people. But what group has the highest status?
We
haven't
know
even
nothing.
established groups.
We know nothing of Rue society.
Yeah, maybe we should
know
do
they're
that.
a monarchy.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, obviously
or they were.
You know what? Let's establish it. The nobles have the highest status. And you must get the only way to be included into the group of nobles is to acquire the correct amount of wealth or influence to be declared a noble by the royals, which at this stage is just Prince Rue that is established at least.
All right. But he doesn't seem to have a lot of power. He can't even get people to build his thing.
And yet he still has the highest status. So what does that say?
Wild. All right. So I'm going to make a little note because at this point, at the end, you're about to take one last action. But at the end of your turn, we have completed our warriors. We've started building weapons and we've gone on a quest. Those are our pending projects at this point. And your action will be the last one. So before we hit summer. Technically, we should have been done a round ago, but he drew the wrong card. That is one of the reasons why we're still here.
We just started a project. Let's make a discovery.
I mean, the more projects we got going, in theory, the better, but...
Okay, fuck it. Let's do another project.
If there's something we need done, remember, it's going to get harder on us, and we have not built a lot.
You're right. We haven't solved much of our scarcity either. Honestly?
Yep. We've honestly just been chasing the problems we've made for ourselves.
Yeah. And realistically, some of the stuff we've introduced is only put us at risk of more problems. Like, I think that...
You could discover something good. It can be that simple. It's up to you. I'll shut up now. It's the quiet year.
Yeah, it's fucking... how about this? We discover emissaries from the Department of Clouds are willing to open trade. You writing that down on one of them cards?
No, I'm... Kenny said that he got that bot arrested by the Twitch police.
Take that, you son of a gun.
So what was it you had said? I can add it to a note.
Emissaries from from the Department of Clouds.
Okay.
Have come to establish a
trade.
Agreement? Yeah, let's go trade. Okay. I was gonna say another thing.
Rubber.
What's that other thing? Where you work together with somebody? I don't know. Trade works.
Emissaries treaty?
Sort of.
An alliance?
An alliance. It's one of the words. It's one of the words I was looking for. But trade. Trade's fine.
I'm just going to put rubber for aid. An alliance. Rubber for aid. Okay. All right. It doesn't seem like he's going to come back, and I am not loving sitting in my chair today. My back hurts. So.
Yeah. I'd say we're done. It's already 10:30. Let's just fucking wrap this thing up. Trade pact. Yeah, trade pact. So
So far, I'm enjoying A Quiet Year. It's about what I was hoping for.
Yeah, so far it is about what I expect of it. I think that the note-taking part will be the most difficult. But beyond
And
that,
it does a lot. There's a lot of little things that it adds. Not like the other ones were more vague or like simplified, whereas this one is like pretty in depth when you have to answer the questions.
yeah, and I mean, I
By
just think
comparison.
that I don't know. I think that as we get into it, we're already a big bunch of hams too. So we're always going to like go over whatever the expectation was. If it was like one word answer, we're gonna give 10.
I
And
think
Henry might
next
give 15. So
I think next time we might want to be a little harder on not interfering. Now that we know the rules and it's like, well, you can't do that. Like, I shouldn't
yeah,
have to tell you can't do that. Go. Like
right.
you are going too far. You're supposed to let other people do it. But that's kind of been our problem with all of these games
That's what I'm
is
saying.
creative control. We are greedy for the
I mean,
control.
and I think that is definitely something we need to work on. And I think this game is a big part of that because I think in the other games, we had a bit more of an opportunity to kind of like bounce off each other. That was allowed in that moment a bit more. This one
is
it's supposed to
specifically
be
tells you cannot. Yeah.
you're not
They do
supposed to
not
do
want
that.
that.
Yeah.
But to be fair, though,
And that's what creates this tension along the way.
yeah, that's supposed to do that. Like it's,
right.
but you also have more actions within the game because the other games, like going around the table, took a little longer. Things were a little bit more in depth, but you could interact more. This one is like, no, the actions are really quick, and you can choose to interact. And like we could be doing it more often if we would just get through the cards.
Right.
Like, we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
it's something that we'll definitely see, and like we still have to start looking into. We still have so many more games and things to get to explore. Believe it or not, there's still at least 3 or 4 more that we can play
really?
after this. Yes.
Oh, I don't think I am aware of the others that you guys had talked about at this point. I think this is the last one that I remember knowing anything about.
Yeah. So this will be fun to kind of keep going through and see what we do. And I think we honestly will probably still be building by Torchlight for at least the next half a year.
Ugh. Yeah, we'll see about that, man. I might have to bow out of some of these. We'll see.
I don't know. But so far, we're having fun. It's getting interesting. And, it's giving any viewers out there an opportunity to see what it's like to use these games to build a world. Now, we are people, me and Jay, are people that have built worlds, that have run games, that have played things. And for us, this is different. This is challenging in some ways because it is not about just doing the thing, but it's about using this tool to help make a thing. And I think in that way, it puts us a bit on our back foot, where we instinctively want to be like, oh, well, you could put this with this and that'll match with this. And it's like, no.
So I think one of the biggest problems that I'm fighting personally is, from my perspective, I want to like round out the story and come to like an answer.
Right.
And I, being a future player in this potential world, shouldn't know the answers. So I should not be trying to come to answers. I should just leave a shit ton of questions on a map and be like, that's not my job.
Absolutely.
And I think and that would give him a big well to choose from. But I also noticed that he wants answers too. Like he wants not only when he goes on his turn, he wants to create the problem and solve the problem
all at once
in every game. Yeah, and it's like, hey man, like we're like, just remember that like later on there's going to be a story. Like there's going to be
yourself some room to breathe.
This. Yeah, there's going to be an adventure to fix this thing that you're solving here. Like you're making it hard to make quests in the future.
I think that's really a big thing about all of these systems that we've played so far, is that it is meant to establish a lot while also leaving room for you to be able to breathe in this space and move in it, right? Because we're not telling a story. You're are making a setting for the story that will be told.
Now,
And I
Quiet
think-
Year, I'm definitely going to try to play it like the McElroys did, where they left it wide open at the end, because that was their whole point, right? But the Quiet Year does have a definitive ending. That's like the one problem with like world building with it, right? It's a good game. It's very fun to play because you tell this story with each other. But if you're building a campaign world, it's more of a history or a backdrop where things happened already, because by the end of the Quiet Year, I believe we're supposed to get some definitive answers. Like, we're supposed to solve this game.
I think that by the end of this game, the idea is not necessarily to have things solved, but to have a situation have happened, right? And I think that's the difference, right, between solution and completion. It will come to completion.
Yeah, like the story ends, so to speak. We will decide what that means, but it does sort of come to a like the game is built to have an ending. Like, and that because it's built to be, this is built to be a game first, not just a tool. Like, unlike Feather Beak and Bone, which didn't feel like it had a conclusion at all.
Right.
That was satisfactory.
This one's a little more game.
I felt that it was a great tool because of that. So it's,
Right. It's that balance between tool and game. So far, the first Art Pantheon was a good balance. The other one was a bit more tool.
But once
this one's probably a bit more game. But I think
we could call it quits too. At any like what we're doing here, the whole point is to build a world. We could just stop. Like, hey, I feel great about where we're leaving the ruse.
Yeah.
Let's let the adventurers solve this shit. Let's go. Like, move on.
I think that potentially, even if it comes to the conclusion, the idea here is that you've built what this was, and you could still build on top of that, right? Like, I think that, let's use the McElroys, for example. They played it to the end. The end is something traumatic is supposed to happen. And they did that.
Yeah.
And all the game that they played, all of A Quiet Year, was just to set up the new setting.
Yeah.
Their setting had very little to do with that.
No, it was very interesting. And that's because, like I said, that's what I mean by it kind of finishes. Like, it's a backdrop, not necessarily a setup,
Right.
This is the history of the area, it's not, you can still build on it.
Yeah, but it's both. It's the history.
I mean, you can always build on history.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can always build on history. That's the best way you could have put it.
Kenny says, people forget some of the best part of adventures is exploring, and we are missing a lot of that in real life. Maps have been made, and most places we can reach on land have had people there, but we don't have to do that in our fantasy worlds. Hey, Kenny. Yeah. Calm down, Kenny. Making me think deep thoughts. Yeah, I'm ready to take my headphones off and be off Twitch. Not that I'm not having fun, but I am sitting wrong and feeling it, and I'm gonna stand up, do something else for a bit.
Yes.
And Henry doesn't care. He fucking loves us. He's fucking gone.
He just fucking loved us.
Fucking left me.
Shit.
He's left. Jackass. We're about to go to break in 30 seconds. Can we quit before that would happen?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for joining us here at Torchlight Tavern, building by Torchlight. We really appreciate your time. Thanks, Kenny, for always coming in, giving us your 2 cents. I know sometimes we're not always talking.
Yeah, we don't always.
But know that we are trying to read it, and we are fucking taking in what you say, and we appreciate it. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jay.
And you can catch us this Friday on Mythcraft Country. Fuck, we didn't make it. All right. Fuck it. We're going to get off anyway.
Yeah, just hey, sometimes the commercials hit people at different times. Tell good stories,
Tell good stories.